Alright, Mr. Snails. He's been piggybacking there for what, 15 minutes? That's when I started feeding them. And when I saw them first, 15 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. I saw the time. 15 minutes ago, he was there. He's been piggybacking. He's been my this female has been moving around for a while, and the male has been there on top. I'm assuming he's male because he's on top and he's smaller than her. They're brothers most likely, and well, you know how it goes with certain animals. They just go for it. But anyway, mystery snails. What can I say about them? They're beautiful. They're interesting, fun. They move a lot, especially when feeding. So they're beautiful, beautiful animals. And what do you need to have one to keep one um, thriving, basically, one or more? Well, what you need is a big fish tank or aquarium. You don't want to keep them in a small aquarium, and by a smaller aquarium I mean anything under 20 gallons, because they are a big snail. So this girl is probably around an inch and a half in diameter. That means that overall, as you can see, compared to a cory catfish, it has more body mass than the cory catfish. That is like having almost two catfish here. Two corridoras. Did I say cory catfish? Two corridoras in the tank, in a 10-gallon tank. That's already pushing it through the volume of water that you want for corridor. And now you might have a great filtration. That's fine. The water will be clean. You do your weekly water changes or every 5 days, whatever, and you'll be fine. But snails, they need this surface area because they're like cows. They grass. They look around for food everywhere, in the floor, in the glass, in the rocks, in the plants. They're constantly eating. They're constantly looking for food. So you will see now, this girl is gonna climb up. You see her mouth. Okay, never mind. She changed her mind, but she, she's constantly eating little pieces of algae, little pieces of food, and that's what they do. So they need a big enclosure. You can feed them. That's fine. You can drop what are these called? The algae wafers. I have a bunch of them, bunch of different types. Let me show you. These I used to feed my corridoras this. Now I eat a bunch of other things. I have spirulina. These are probably the best. Spirulina wafer discs. Look at the ingredients. Look at these ingredients: wheat flour, fish meal, wheat germ meal, alfalfa, soy meal, spirulina, plankton, shrimp, krill. That's just great. That's great. I mean, look, all that food, all that krill and shrimp will make your snails look amazing. Trust me, they just enhance the colors. They do. And so yeah, you can feed them those. They'll eat it. But once they finish eating that, they'll keep moving around the whole tank, eating more. Unless you overfeed, but you shouldn't do overfeeding. So you want to make sure that they eat from the glass, they eat from the substrate, because why not? You have food there all over the place, so you want to make sure they eat that, and then you feed them a little more so they are healthy and happy. So let them eat all that. So they need the room. By the way, my fish are eating this spirulina wafer right now. So if you have a lot of fish, the fish might eat the spirulina, and they will have to eat from the glass, from everywhere. So make sure you do. Make sure you have a big tank so they can eat all the algae around. They are not the best at eating algae, by the way. Nereid snails are supposed to be much better. I haven't done a scientific comparison to tell you. I don't have two exact same tanks with one with Nerit and one with Mr. Snails to tell you, oh yeah, the Nerit are much better. But uh, I take it from the experts that yes, Nerit snails are much better. And these snails, look, this is full with algae. And I had this over 20, 30, not 30, maybe over 20 snails in this tank. They are not eating it. I mean, they are eating it, but they're not getting rid of it. So you have to constantly scrape the glass anyway. So don't think that Mr. Snails will prevent you from having to clean the glass. Not at all. Trust me. They're not that good. Algae, they will eat it. They will slow it down, but they will not get rid of it. So don't think that you will. And so don't get snails just for the algae. Never. Get the snails to, I don't know, to complement your fish, to complement your tank, to have another life, another type of life in your tank, and they will help you a little bit with the algae, but not a lot. You still have to scrape everywhere for the algae. So what else? I have this is a very old snail. I honestly don't know what happened to her shell. This one is much younger, and look how beautiful it looks. There is enough chance that this girl is or guy. I think he's a guy. This guy is the parent because there was just not many options. There were many snails when I had these babies. So look at these colors. I'm making a mess. Look at these colors. It's so beautiful. Blue and purple. You kidding me? That's amazing. To me, I mean, I think that's beautiful. So yeah, mystery snails. Make sure you have a big tank for them. There's another one here. Another one that it's. You can see her mouth. Of course, it's focusing. You see, she eats as she moves. She or him, I don't know. I think it's a him. Another one here. This could be a she. I'm just guessing by the size, but some of them grew at different rates because, well, in a big tank you don't always get to eat the best food. So they're all brothers. These are brothers. These two, they're all brothers. Anywho, Mr. Snails, make sure you have a big tank. Make sure, please, don't get Mr. Snails in a 10-gallon tank if you have already a few fish. It's too much. You're making yourself work harder. You're making your life more difficult. You're making your tank more nasty, more ammonia in it, which will end up as nitrates, and you will end up with more algae because you have extra nitrates. If you have plants, the plants will not eat all the nitrates, and the algae will eat them, and then the algae reproduce much faster than the plants, and then the algae take all the nitrates because they consume it much faster and easier than the plants, and then your plants don't grow, and then you have algae all over your tank, and you're wondering why aren't the snails eating it? And they are, but like 1%. So don't get Mr. Snails for the algae. And algae are not that bad. I have some algae here, which I hate. These are the most difficult type of algae to get rid of. and they look nasty. They look ugly, but they won't hurt your fish. They won't hurt. Well, they might hurt your plants. They prevent your plants from getting enough light. But if you keep cleaning it, your plants will be fine. At least they will survive. And by the way, one of the plants that take the least beating from these algae are these Java fern. They're amazing. Look at this. Look how green. You think I even clean them? Not at all. Now look at this Java fern. Nice. Now look at these Nubias. Nasty. I never clean them. Well, the Nubias maybe once a month or once every 2 months. But look, I never clean these guys. These are Nubias growing on top. These are new. Those are new what they call, well, their new leaves clean. In a few months, a few weeks, we're gonna be covered. That's algae problems. They won't get rid of them. Where are you? Snails won't get rid of it. Make sure you are fighting the algae on your own. Because snails will give you more problems. Baby snail.